Hello, I'm Charles Moffat, and it's book unboxing time again. Or as it frequently happens, it's unbagging time. So, let's see what we have here today. Okay. Tales of Another World, Book 1 by Jeffrey J. Hoy. Okay. Jeff Hoy is permanently unemployed, retired. Okay, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, sure. I'm not retired, I'm permanently unemployed. From the steel and hospital industries in which he had many varied occupations. Okay. And now he writes science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Okay. No, he reads science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Survivors of a nuclear apocalypse and zombie apocalypse trilogy. Oh yeah. So let's have a look at the cover again. Yeah. Okay. Has more of a sci-fi feel to it. Okay. When Morok, I don't know if this is pronounced correctly. When Morok, a young warrior, is tasked with escorting an irritable old man across the desolate landscape to the mysterious northern continent, he learns more about himself than he does about the cantankerous teacher he is protecting. He soon realizes there is much to Rastar than he could have guessed. There is much more to Rastar than he could have guessed. The wizard, as his kind is called in these strange lands, is seeking 4 magical devices that control fire, wind, water, and the darkness that causes men to go mad. It is the key of darkness that the teacher seeks, which was thought destroyed 1,000 years before, when the Nameless One was eventually vanquished. Morok finds himself thrust into the middle of a war between a race of blue-eyed, blonde-haired people fighting crazed fanatics that decorate themselves with their victims' blood and bones. To further complicate things, Morok meets Kanya, the love of his life he had no idea was waiting for him. His love for her puts his mission in jeopardy, for now there is the possibility he might have to decide whose life is more important, his mate's or the teacher who hopes to rid the world of a terrible evil. Ooh, okay. And this is just book 1. Okay. Thanks to the writings of J.R.R. Tolkien and George R. R. Martin. Okay, and many thanks to my wife Julie for putting up with my craziness. Okay, so this is, if you like J.R.R. Tolkien and George R. R. Martin, you might enjoy this book. Although, I'm guessing if you like zombies and post-apocalyptic stuff, you might also enjoy this book. Okay. Tale of Carvizon, the Tale of the Key of Darkness, the Tale of Anos. Tales of Another World. Okay. Let's read the first page. For 5 cloudless nights, the banishment caravan wound its way south, far out into the vastness of the burned lands. Uncountable stars shone down from the pitch-black sky, giving more than enough light for the solemn procession to negotiate the dry, cracked, tortured landscape after sunset. Sure-footed aurochs carried just enough supplies for those who would be returning when the unsavory deed was done. The party trudged along in somber silence, including the prisoner, who was tied to the back of one of the smelly, rough-haired pack animals. During the oppressive heat of the day, the caravan would seek out a mound and pitch silken canopies, hoping against hope for the slightest of breezes, for anything that might bring even a modicum. A modicum? Modicum? It's not a word that you usually get to pronounce aloud. Okay, a modicum of relief from the relentless, fiery sun. All would sit motionless and drift off into meditations, waiting for what little relief darkness afforded. All except for the prisoner. Yes, the prisoner, who was staked out and gagged to keep his shouts and curses to little more than weak grunts. The taking of a human life, even a murderer's, had long ago been strictly prohibited by the tribes. So those few convicted of the most despicable of crimes were taken well out into the vast desolation of the burned lands before being loosed. In this way, no human had a direct hand in their deaths, and so could be absolved of the killing of another. At dusk of the fifth day, they staked the prisoner to the ground with thick, stout cords, and left a dull knife and a water skin just barely within reach, so their consciences would be clean. Yes. They hoped that in this weakened condition, the prisoner could not free himself before dawn, and by then the banishment caravan would be long gone, and the tribes could thus rid themselves of one of the wicked without breaking their laws. Okay, so they're banishing this person and then just leaving them in the desert with the water skin and a dull knife. So they might live somehow. Would help if somebody showed up and just like handed them the knife. Yeah, that could happen, I suppose. You know, if they had an accomplice or a new friend just happened to show up. How long are these chapters, out of curiosity? The first chapter. Let's see. It was started here on page 1. Okay, so it's not very long. So that one's about like 8 pages. But some other chapters might be a lot longer. Who knows? I like short chapters, and I cannot lie. Now, this one apparently is an anthology, as I understand it. It is... So there's the Tale of Carpa Zon, the Tale of the Key of Darkness, the Tale of Anos. I think that's what this is. Now, I also assume that Morak is like the main character in all 3. So, maybe? I'm not sure. I think it's an anthology. Tales of Another World. Book 1. Okay. So this is... Does that mean that this is a series of anthologies? Where it's like each book has like 3 smaller stories in it? I don't know. That is a good question. Yeah, see that 6 there tells me that's not chapter 6. That's got like be like part 6 of one story. See, there's the 5. 3, 2. And we're talking about like this is roughly halfway through the book, so there's the 2. Where's 1? There's 1. The Tale of the Key of the Darkness. Okay, yeah, see? This is definitely more like an anthology. Okay. But it's, I'm guessing, more like a post-apocalyptic anthology, but with like magic and other things going on there at the same time, possibly. Or is it magic? Maybe it's just technology, because people who like sci-fi and fantasy sometimes like to mix it up. Well, it could be one or the other, or both. It's hard to say sometimes. Kind of reminds me of Shannara Chronicles, like all those books. Anyway, if this is something that you might be interested in, do check out Tales of Another World, Book 1 by Jeffrey J. Hoy, who apparently writes science fiction / fantasy that's like post-apocalyptic, possibly with magic, possibly science. Yeah, there you go. Do check out his work. And if you also like sword and sorcery or heroic fantasy, do check out my work. You can find it at amazon.com/author/Moffat, Moffat, or you can visit my website, fiction.charlesmoffat.com. Okay, bye now.